everyone, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over the White Album, as if you didn't read it in the title. But two things. Firstly, the lighting in this video is a bit shit, and we're getting into allergy season in the UK, and I'm on my allergy meds, but yesterday I tried filming this video a few times and I just couldn't get it together because I had all the cold symptoms, but it was allergies. And just now today, I'm able to breathe properly. I had to go out and get my meds. It's terrible. But yeah, let's talk about the White Album. Now this is the, is it the 7th studio? No. Hang on. I think it's the 9th, sorry. It's the 9th studio album by the Beatles. My maths might be wrong. And it's essentially just like the culmination of all their different sounds and styles. Because with this album, they were very split. The Beatles themselves, they weren't getting along well with each other. Ringo even left the band at an early stage in this album. And on, I believe it's Obla Di Blo Da, Paul McCartney plays drums because Ringo had left the band. And I believe they sent him flowers as an apology and begged him to come back. But, you know, they were very fragmented, and George Martin would recall having to go to different rooms because Paul McCartney was playing over here and John Lennon was in this other room. And, you know, it was... so this album is very long because it's the culmination of all these different... I can't breathe. Sound and styles coming into one. But we'll get into that in a bit. Let's start with the look. So the White Album is iconic, absolutely iconic. Just that white cover with the Beatles embossed on it. I believe it was Paul McCartney who came up with the idea for that. And I mean, it's just white on the back with the stereo. Now, this one doesn't have a numbering on it, but back in the day, when this first came out, they had put a numbering on the records, and I believe the Beatles and their management had like 1 to 10 or things like that, because I know the number 1 White Album record, the one written with number 1 written on it, I believe it sold with something like 750,000, which is insane, but it must be so cool to own. This is the only Beatles album, this is the last Beatles album to have been released in mono, and it's the only one I didn't get in my collection. I couldn't find it. But anyway, the looks, I'm getting ahead of myself. I love this simple gatefold. This is the 2018 50th anniversary edition, so it comes with all these goodies. Now, I'm not sure if the original album came with this, but it's really cool. I'm not going to get it out, but if you watch any of my earlier videos in that bedroom there, you'll see this behind me. This is the poster that comes with the album, and I won't stretch it all out for you because I'm terrible at putting them back together and I don't want to break it or rip it. But it's a really cool poster that I had up on my wall for almost 2 years. Well, yeah, pretty much 2 years. But it also comes with, they haven't even come out, god damn it, these lovely cards of the Beatles. Hang on, I'll show you them all. Right, there's... I have a theory that this man right here, this beautiful man here, Ringo Starr, is a vampire who doesn't age. That's my theory. I believe that sometime in the last few years, he decided to shave all his hair off, and he's still just an ageless vampire, because he still looks this young. Well, he looks like 5 years older than he does in this picture. The man doesn't age. Seriously, check his Instagram. Then the beautiful George Harrison. I've always loved George Harrison's hairstyles and his clothing choices. And then, of course, these two lovely dudes. But John Lennon looking absolutely stunning in that one. Just looks brilliant. And I love his glasses. I believe, okay, I'm not sure if it's those glasses in particular, but when I went to an art exhibit by Yoko Ono, and they had those glasses in a framed thing. So whether it's the real glasses, I couldn't tell you. But that's cool anyway. But let's talk about the songs, shall we? This is a bit controversial of an opinion, but some of the songs on this album I think are a bit dull. They're not bad. This is still an amazing album, but some of the songs I lose interest in them, like Wild Honey Pie and what why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we do it out in the road? Everybody's got something to hide, except for me and my monkey. They're all right, but they're not some of the best Beatles songs. And Revolution 9, which is the infamous soundscape song off this album, if you can call it a song, I think that's boring. Now, and honestly, I skip it. I lift the needle up and I skip to the last song. It was cool the first time I heard it and the first few times, but now I think it's, and I get it, because back in '68, when this came out, that was mega. Hearing that on an album was so brand new and it was cool, but now I guess my music tastes, I don't really enjoy it, and it is just a kaleidoscope of sounds. But now that's the cons out of the way. The pros, this album's fantastic. The opening 2 tracks, Back in the USSR, is amazing, and Dear Prudence, I love just the explosive Back in the USSR, and then the way it transitions into a calmer John Lennon-led Dear Prudence is amazing. So I'm going to get some of the facts wrong, but the Beatles went to an Indian retreat to try meditation, which is where they wrote a lot of the material off this album. And Prudence was someone who went with them. I can't remember her name, but she got a Beatles song written about her, so she's pretty amazing in my books. But I love that. And of course, back in the USSR, this is in '68. The American public and America and the West didn't like the USSR. And writing a song about them wasn't the best idea in the world. But they didn't care. They were the Beatles. Glass Onion, absolutely love Glass Onion. I love the references to other Beatles songs. I think that's brilliant. Oh Blah Dee Blah Da, one of my favourite Beatles songs. I'm dying. I love how playful and happy it sounds. The continuing story of Bungalow Bill. Now, the story behind this song, I believe, is where John Lennon saw someone hunt and kill a tiger, which really pissed him off. So the song is about a hunter who has to take his mum everywhere because he's a wimp and can't stand up for himself and things like that. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, one of the greatest songs ever written. And it's weird. I really am done. Oh, breathe. You see what I have to put up with? So, the rest of the Beatles didn't take George Harrison very seriously. And then George Harrison proposed that song to Eric Clapton, who plays lead guitar on the track. Or I believe he plays the guitar solo anyway. So, and then with Eric Clapton coming into the studio to do it with George, all the other Beatles sort of had a knock on the head. Like, come, we have to show him what we can do. And it's just an amazing song. George Harrison is one of the best songwriters ever. Happiness is a Warm Gun. Absolutely love it. Especially at the end of the song where John Lennon really picks up in that high-pitched vocal range. So what, I'm not going to do it. But the bridge. Happiness is a warm gun. It's just so good. I'm not going to go through every song because there's too many. But Martha, My Dear is amazing. I'm So Tired. Blackbird, which is about the civil rights in the US. It's amazing. Rocky Raccoon. I love Rocky Raccoon. I love Paul McCartney's American accent, and I love the story, the way he's able to tell a story with all these different Wild West characters in it. It is superb. And I love that Rocket Raccoon from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, or the MCU, was based off this song, which is so cool. Then we have the brain. Ringo, his name's Ringo. Sorry, I'm so tired. Don't Pass Me By Ringo. I love everything about the song, including Ringo's vocals, which are just on point. Ringo could write a really good song when he wanted to even. Then we have Why Don't We Do It in the Road? I'll skip some. Birthday. So the second record, this is a double LP if you couldn't tell. The second record kicks off with Birthday, which is a perfect song because it's a parallel to the first song, which was also a very raunchy, booming song. I hope that makes sense. And then we have Year Blues, which is a song that John Lennon sings that he's suicidal and he wants to die. It was a satirical take on the British country scene at the time, or British folk music, where it all sounded really sad and bleak. I love a bit of folk music, but I've never heard a British folk song in my life. Only American stuff. But Year Blues is amazing. Mother Nature's Son is great. As I said, everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. I'm not a huge fan of. Sexy Sadie. Sexy Sadie. It's a really good song. Helter Skelter. Helter Skelter, in my mind, in the minds of many, is the first heavy metal hard rock song. Now, the story goes that Pete Townsend of The Who, in a magazine, had said that he had written the raunchiest, heaviest, dirtiest song. And Paul McCartney, being really competitive, knew that he had to, he had to outdo it. He had to do better than that. And I believe there was, I can't remember the exact number, but there was almost 100 takes of this song. And because they had to get it perfect. But I love the guitars. I love the backing singers. Paul McCartney's almost screaming vocals are amazing. And Ringo Starr, I've got blisters on my fingers. It's just brilliant. Such a fantastic song. And I love the genius of them putting Long, Long, Long by George Harrison, which is a very slow burn, a very light song after Helter Skelter. That is just genius. It's just amazing. So long going through this without having to cut. Revolution 1. It's an alright song. It's a bit of a slow burner. I prefer the single version, the really, really fast-paced rocker of a song. I think it's so much better. And so does Paul McCartney and George Martin, who that was the original. They wanted the song to be the single release, whereas John Lennon wanted it to be the slow burn that it is on this album. Honey Pie is a great song. Savoy Truffle, which was written about Eric Clapton's Sweet Tooth, and the lyrics are all different names of the sweets that Eric Clapton loved, I believe. Cry, 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 Baby Cry, is amazing. And I love the bit on the end. Revolution 9, as I said, I don't really enjoy it as much as I used to, and I skip it. And then Good Night, which is one of the best closing tracks ever. Now, it's a really simple orchestral-led song with Ringo vocals, but his vocals add something, especially on the end of an album. It is just superb and a fantastic way to close your album. So, in conclusion, so I would give this a 9 out of 10. It's superb. There's just a few songs that I think are a bit long, and I will admit that if I'm gonna, after I film this, for example, if I'm gonna stick a Beatles album on, this is not usually one I choose because it's an hour and a half long of runtime, and with the songs I love on this album, I tend to just play them on my computer or on the phone. Or I stick on another Beatles album like Abbey Road, which I much prefer. But anyway, 9 out of 10, a fantastic album. Now, this is not the only video I'm going to be doing on the White Album. A good YouTuber you should check out is Canadian Stud Muffin. And he did a video where he tried to condense a White Album into one record, about 40 minutes long. And I thought that was a brilliant idea. So I'm going to copy his idea. He won't mind. Soon I'm going to do the same video. And it's going to be fantastic. Well, it's going to be hard, but fantastic. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. If you love the White Album as much as I do, let me know down below. And if I said something stupid, feel free to fact check me, as you always do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.